Hey, YouTube family. Thank you guys for rocking with me. I just want to take the time to tell you a cool, inspirational, true story. A guy I met along the way of my life. His name is Marcus Smiley. Culleon at the time was what I called him. I met him back in 2005. I had to do a little time for being a bad boy in Texas State Penitentiary and violating probation. And so, I had to, the devil came to, get his due. And so, when I was in there, when I was in the county, when they called my name for TDC, I packed my stuff up, gave everybody in the dorm high fives and all that. Mailed this let off for me, mailed this let off for that. I'm on the train gang waiting to get on the Bluebird, the bus. Just that alone, my anxiety, because I never been, I was 19 years old, this 2005. And my anxiety was through the roof. I really wasn't scared because I was already gang banging, high school dropout. I didn't have no parents at home, so I was already bad outside. So being incarcerated, I really wasn't scared at all, And so on the blue bus, it was really anxiety because I'm looking at people's faces. I'm hearing all these jailhouse stories from these jailhouse lawyers, these ex-convicts, these new wannabe convicts. And so I'm like, man, Bubba, what did you get yourself into now? So it was a ride to Gaza West. That's why I went. Gaza West is a transfer facility. It's in West Texas. Since I was a gang banger, since I was a certified gang member on the streets, because I got in trouble by the cops and they put me on gang files in the street. When I went to jail, they already knew that, but I told them I wasn't active. So, but to protect my life, they still put me with all the Bloods, which was on the south side, Delta and Charlie. And that's the bad side. The north side of Gaza West was the good side. The south side was the bad side, depending on your affiliation, your crime, how many times you've been back, and your conduct and so forth. So because I was 19, I was a Blood. I was in there for 2 robberies. They put me on the south side. So they put me on the south side, and when I got in the dorm, it was 2 to every bunk. It was 15 men in the bunk. It wasn't the 2-cell thing, because where I was a transfer facility. They didn't put me on my ID form yet. An ID form is where you're gonna really do your time. This is just a transfer facility for people coming from nearby cities to get transferred and get regulated into whatever unit they need to be. So now, mind you, this is my first night. I just left the county less than 24 hours ago. This is my first night, Gaza West. I'm 19 years old. Okay, they cut all my hair off. They gave me white. They gave me some Bruce Lee looking shoes, with the peanut butter at the bottom, but they navy blue, gray socks, white drawers, a razor, a little soap. I got a mat laid on, a cover, and a towel. So I'm chained with everybody. I got my little stuff rolled up. They put me on in Delta, Southside. Everybody like, oh man, it's rock and roll over there. Then you affiliate and you black. Oh, it's going down. You ain't getting no rest. Trying to hype me up and all these, crash stories. So I get in there. Once I get in there, within 2 hours, this black guy, Culleon, he pulls the fan out. Me, I have no idea why. I just got here. I just put my stuff in here. I met everybody who was willing to meet in there, because people will come up to you, strike up a conversation. So once I get in, I unpacked all my stuff. People was coming to me left and right, especially the blacks, because it was only like 8 in there, and it was like 40 Hispanics and like 2 whites. So so everybody all the blacks was making sure they said hey to me. And so Culleon, I didn't know him at the time. He takes off his shirt. He pulls the fan out. The fan is what keeps the dormitory warm. And we have a TV. We have 4 showers, 4 toilets, 4 sinks, and it's 54 people in here. This is a transfer facility, Gaza West. So he pulls out the fan. This is my first night. He pulls out the fan. I'm laying in my bunk. A Blood named Trouble just gave me a magazine. And we were just talking. I was full-fledged gang affiliated. That was all I was doing in the streets, and I brought it to the penitentiary because I haven't learned my lesson yet at the time. So I'm talking to him. He's a Blood. We started talking. He's a treetop Haru. We started talking woo woo woo. So once I get back in my bunk, that's when Culleon go and pull out the fan and say, which one of you such and such and such and such stole my blanket? Somebody stole a gray blanket off his towel. To him, it must have been a special blanket. So he's talking to all the Hispanics, you know. And if I don't know if you know anything, I love Hispanic culture. Don't get me wrong, I swear to God. But I'm talking about the penitentiary gang ones, the dangerous ones. You know, you had the Tango Blast, the Vayucos, you know, Tri-City Bombers. You had Mexican Mafia, Texasanicans. You had all of them in there. He's talking to all these people. In my mind, I'm like, this motherfucker, he just lost his mind. I didn't know he was the speaker for the Hoover Crips at that time. I didn't know who he was. I just thought he just lost his mind. And the SA strapped up their boots, took off their shirt, they in boxing boots. I'm like, man, they about to really jump this dude. And this guy, about 10 minutes after he gave his rant, they jumped him. It was like 30 of them on him. This guy from Trinity Garden named Jay Scott. I hope he's doing well. I hope you're doing all right, Jay Scott. This guy named Jay Scott jumped off his bunk and jumped in. I wasn't going to jump in at first because I don't know you. I don't care about the black thing. And man, I know not to talk no essays like that in no penitentiary. What the hell? And I looked at the other blacks and they was like, F that dude, we ain't ride with him. We trying to go home. And I was like, all right. But they was thrashing him. But some of my heart was like, man, Bubba, at least get him up off the ground. So I jumped into the pile of Hispanics. I'm muscling through them to help him up. For some reason, I got the strength to help him up. They started jumping on me. It was easy for me to defend myself. I just got against the wall and just started just throwing them just anywhere I can go. And I mean, the guards came to the door and put in 2 tear gas tank things, and they exploded. I never seen that, only on TV. I was scared. I thought I was gonna die. I couldn't breathe. I started choking. My eyes and my saliva and snot all was burning with the oil stuff. All the Hispanics, it's like they knew what to do. They got wet towels and put it around their face and knew how to lay and where to lay, like they was trained for it. It was weird. But this is my first night though, remember. So, you know, I'm scared to death. I wasn't scared of the riot. I was scared of the tear gas because I couldn't breathe. And the guards didn't give a damn that I couldn't breathe. All they knew was they just stopped the riot and they getting promoted. So once that happened, everything was cleared. They plastic wrapped everybody. Corleone took his case. Me, Corleone, and Jay Scott was the only blacks that rode in the riot. It was like 32 Hispanics. They got out of there. Of course, we got threatened for our lives and all that, but I expected that. Nothing happened to the blacks. I knew nothing was going to happen. I should have stayed with them, but I'm glad I didn't because I'm going to tell you why. So we go to lockdown. We in lockdown for 2 weeks. I never drank black coffee in my life. It's the first time me drinking black coffee with Corleone at the sink. I don't even think it was hot, but we were so bored and we just tried to do something that was just, I don't even know. That lets you know how solitary it is to where black coffee excites you. And so we in there learning about each other, talking about each other's past, what we want to do, how we got there. And he told me that he thanked me, Corleone thanked me for helping him. And he said that from as long as I'm there, I won't have to worry about anything. My 2 years that I was on that unit, he made sure I had stamps to write my girlfriends, to write my grandma, to write my brothers. When he got money on his books, he sent me care packages to make sure I was all right. Now, he used to speak for the Crips. He introduced me to all his homies, all the Crips. I mean, it was incredible. He introduced me to all the Bloods. He introduced me to all of his Hispanic friends. He introduced me there because this was his second stint. So I didn't know he was this popular on the unit. I thought he was just a regular black dude but he wasn't. He wasn't at all. And I thank God that I did that because had I not, I seen him a few times and he could have easily told the people that I was with, man, he's this and that or this and that and the other. But man, just the way he looked out for me and made sure that I was all right. He went out his way to make sure that I was good and stress-free and safe. And I don't just think because I rolled in a ride with him, but because when he learned my story, he felt the heart and he didn't have to. So shout out to Corleone. I love you. I hope you all right. I told you I wouldn't forget about you, and I promise you, man, I hope you stay in God's favor, and thank you for everything, man. You didn't have to help me like you did, but you did. Thank you, man, for a safe time. God bless you, man. I love you. Peace.